For EMPG specifically, in EMGrantsPro, your home screen situational awareness, understanding the system structure, and updating applicant information or reporting system issues. First, to get started, we're going to look at the My Home screen. Wherever you're at in the system, to get back to this screen, you would just click the House button. We'll take you back to the My Home. We're going to start with looking at the open grants. There's a couple ways to filter this listing. You can use the quick search. You can either type in the year, or you can filter it down by the name of the grant. And you'll see that's how it restricts down the listing to be a little more concise. Other options to look at open grants. If you have a lot of open grants, you can actually print this listing by clicking the print icon, or you can export this listing by clicking the Excel export. You get some different options here. I like to select custom, deselect all, and then look at what fields I would like to pull into the Excel report. Maybe it's the grant number, the grant name, whether or not it is closed, which applicant the grant is tied to, the account status, and the project count. Then you can click export. And then you will be seeing an Excel document that lists all the grants that are in that list, whether or not the grant was closed, yes or no, the applicant name. You can then save this to your desktop or print it or use it for whatever purposes you need to. The other option you have at the top of this list is a filter button. Click on that funnel type looking icon, and then you have options to filter down the list by maybe you want to select and just see all emergency management performance grants. Select that, click Apply Filters, and this restricts the list down to just those EMPG, Emergency Management Performance Grants, that are open. Few options of how you use the Open Grants section: the Quick Search feature, the Filter icon, the Excel Export icon, and the Printer icon. Those all help you restrict down the list to see what grant you're wanting to get to. A couple other options within this home screen that I want to point out. On the top right, you'll see a tab that says Applicants You Represent. You can expand that out and look at all the applicants that you represent, that you have access to. You might have different privileges or access rights depending on what applicant it is, but those are all applicants that you represent. Your inbox is here. I'm just selecting the little icon to expand it down. Then you can see what's in the inbox. You have an inbox and drafts. This is important. When you save a document before you submit it, it goes into your drafts. Also on your right-hand tab, there is a Favorites tab. You can select that, and you can see what items are in your favorites that you've marked as a favorite. You'll also see favorites by clicking on the star icon to the left of the logout button. Those are quick links, so if you click on it, it'll take you directly to the project or whatever, the application or quarterly report, whatever you've made as your favorite. Scheduled meetings, EMPG doesn't use this feature, but it is there. If you have some other grants with Homeland Security and Emergency Management, you may find there are some meetings scheduled in there. For EMPG, though, you won't see anything. Follow-ups, rarely does anything show up here for EMPG, but that tab does exist. The last tab on the right is very important. It's the next 5 quarterly reports due. This is a change from last year. It will now show you your most recent report first. Before it showed you your oldest report that was due. Now it will show you the one that you need to complete first, essentially, the one that is most pressingly due. So in here you can see that there's some quarterly reports for HMEP, as well as here's one for 2017 EMPG. The grant name and the grant year are listed here. The quarter and the quarter the year is in is listed here. So 2017 quarter 3 is April 1st through June 30th of 2017. That's what that means. So here you have the quarterly reports section. Those are the main areas that I wanted to point out on the home screen for your awareness, so you know how to navigate this area. I will touch on one more thing over here on the quick search. These icons, the filter, the Excel export, and the print icon will show up throughout the system. As you look, as you maneuver through the system, you may have other lists where you can filter Excel export or print. They work the same way. If the icon appears, you can use them. The next thing we want to cover is understanding the system structure. From your home page, it says Open Grants, but if you were to click on one of these grants, it is actually going to take you to what's called the account level. The account level is in red. It will say account for the specific grant year and grant name with the applicant name that it's tied to. So from the home screen, when you click on the Open Grant, it's going to take you to the account. From the account, you can do a lot of different things, but 2 things I'll point out here. Under the Projects tab, it will show you a link to the project. You could also go straight to the application. In this case, I'm going to the project. The project has a blue banner. It will say project with a federal number. This federal number for EMPG 2017 will say 2017, and then the last 2 digits will be your county specific number. The S number is a state number that's just auto-generated in the system. Then it will have another dash, and it will be the name of your application, or the name of your project, excuse me. If you see the word application, you're not at the project level, you're at the application. So project number, state number, the name of the project. And you can follow that through by looking at the breadcrumbs across the top. You're at the project level. Above that is the account. Above that is the applicant. And above that is the grant. So real quick, I want to show you to access your application. You can come down from the Summary tab. You're in the project. On the Summary tab, you can click View Application, and it'll take you into the application. It's a little confusing because the banner is still blue. It still says project with your number, but then you'll have a colon and you'll have the word application. You'll also have an additional breadcrumb that shows you are in the application, but you are still part of the project. So that's important to understand how these all connect. The application is part of the project is part of the account is part of the applicant and the grant. So the last thing that I want to go over is how to update your applicant information. And to do that, I'm going to go to the applicant breadcrumb. And if you are the applicant and you need to update your physical address, your mailing address, or your DUNS number, or some other information from the applicant page, you can select the question mark to the right of the logout and open a support ticket. And you would say applicant data update request. Identify the priority. Then you're going to select your applicant from the listing. Make sure it is the EMA, in this case for EMPG, and then describe what you're updating. Once you type in the change that needs to occur, you can click Save, and then you can click Submit. That will submit a support ticket to Homeland Security's system administrators that can update that necessary information. The same process goes if for wherever you are in the system, and if you experience a system error, a system glitch, something that's not working right within the system. Wherever you're experiencing that issue, you can click that question mark to the right of the logout, open a support ticket, and then it can be a help request or a bug or an error or a product enhancement, and type in the issue that you're having. The important thing is to be on the page where you're experiencing the issue. So we've covered home screen awareness, what you'll see on your home screen, what things that you can access quickly from your home screen. You also now understand the system structure, how it goes from project to account to applicant to grant, and how to update applicant information and report system issues. Thank you for your time.